The closest you can go is to say, listening to what you're saying, if it was me, this is what it would mean to me. This is what I would think. This is how I might feel if it was happening to me. And I offer you this in case these are useful to you in triggering deeper exploration of you inside yourself. To do that, and the next consequence of care for the other is listen attentively. If you're not listening deeply to what the other person is saying, you may miss exactly that point where you can gently nudge them. Something that I often do is write down word for word what the talker is saying, because very often it's in the specific details of the words that the talker uses that the deep meaning is. If you just listen to their meaning, what you may hear is not what they've said, but what you would have said in your reality, in whatever images are triggered in your mind from their words. And that may go down a completely different route. I've seen this time and time again. The nudger thinks they've understood what the other person has said, not realizing that they've already, in listening, transformed what the other person has said into their own reality, and have then nudged the talker down a route that had nothing to do with what the talker was actually trying to say. So keep in mind, listening carefully means listening to the details of the words, and feel free to write them down. A couple of other things around working together as a pair and taking care of each other is give each other a fair share of the time together. If you're working to a time limit, the nudger owns keeping time. And finally, in parallel to, if it's worth doing badly now, not waiting until tomorrow when you might do it better. As nudger, a really important part of your role is to celebrate the learning. Celebrate everything that the talker might do that fails. And if you're the talker, celebrate everything that the nudger does, especially those points where the nudger goes to the edge of what they're capable of nudging and stumbles. Praise it, celebrate it. This is all about exploring together and learning together. And as nudger, we often learn just as much when we go to the edge of our nudging ability and stumble and fall as we do when we're the talker going to the edge of our talking ability. Which raises a third role that we sometimes have. If we're working in a triad, the third person is the observer. And the observer has the huge gift of being able to watch both the talker and the nudger